the demand from the board or the demand from the stakeholders, even the demand from the process owners, the head of the departments, the operational head of the departments are very high. Um, they don't like to be, you know, audited on a very, very operational, regular operational. I mean, they know it. I mean, it's not that they don't know it. They're also smart enough to know everything. So what they want is a more value addition in terms of their operations. Uh, Auditors, basically, if you see across the world globally, they're termed as like an internal police kind of guys. Whenever they go to the operations, they're like, okay, these guys have come. They've come to point out our mistakes. A very underlining statement which I've heard for the last
Definitely.
22,
Yeah,
25
right.
years. They are the internal police. That's it. Nothing more than that. Here comes the role of an internal auditor to get in connect with the stakeholders. Now, what I mean by the stakeholders is the operations head, the GM of the organization, the production heads, the showroom heads. So what you do is you transform your department and yourself into a business partner. You tell them that, listen, I'm here to help you. Okay. Audit, yes, my department is named as audit, which I cannot change it, unfortunately. So, but not with the words that, okay, now from today we change from internal like policing work to a business partner. Not like that. That's not going to change. What you do is you correlate your activities with their activities in terms of, for example, a showroom audit. Just I'm giving an example. So when you go to the showroom and when you approach, when you have the first interview with the showroom manager, you give him a sense of feeling that I am not here to point out your mistakes. I'm here to help out with your process, with the business re-engineering, with the process re-engineering. You tell me, the first thing that I do is like, you tell me what are your gamut of problems, and let me see whether I can help you, or I can suggest you a kind of mitigation or through a recommendation, and whether it can be implemented, and whether we can go ahead and see the change within your uh, particular department that works. Personally, that has worked for me. And uh, and more important is the connection between the audit department and all the sections of the company. It's not just purely for audit. What it has to happen is for in a regular basis, on a absolutely day-to-day basis, the interaction should happen. uh, that's the reason I always say that, the scheduling part of it, there is no schedule right now. As when you grow as a strategic partner, when you go as a business partner with the stakeholders, you can't schedule your audits. It becomes a concurrent kind of audit. It's a regular audit, day-to-day audit. um, Daily there is a feedback from the process owners, like, okay, we have a problem, this, how do we sort it out, or is this the best possible way to sort it out? Is this the most cost effective way for us to sort it out? When you get into these kind of discussions, and when you make the auditee feel, or the process owner feel, that he is not just to point out my mistakes. What he's telling me is he's trying to improve my department. He's trying to give me suggestions which probably can help me improve my processes, or my processes could perhaps become a more cost effective processes. This feeling is very, very important for auditors to give. I mean, otherwise, number one, it's audit department will not survive, because then it makes us a very kind of mundane, boring audits, and like age old 10 years back audit. So this feeling has to be given through the discussion, through the efforts, through the work you do, and ensure that you give a lot of value addition. Now, coming back to the question of whether do we still have a risk matrix, whether do we still have an audit report? Yes, we do have. We are not coming out of it, but the way of presenting these reports to the process owners is like, this is what we discussed, this is what we identified. So you and me together, it is not I, it is we identify. to give him a sense of feeling that you're part of my activity. I'm not detached from you, and then it gives him a lot of confidence. And then he's in a mindset of, let me welcome him and let me share with him my process, my activities, my issues. And since I have a probability of, say, a 70-80% of mitigating those issues, I'm good. So there is a welcoming mode coming in. This I'm talking about from the individual process owners, and not only the board of directors. The board of directors is a different level. I mean, they would have a different kind of discussion. But when you have a discussion, as your question pointed out, how do we attach with the process owners, the first line people? I think this is the way, and this is proved. I mean, this is not something that I'm talking on a very theoretical mode. This is what we practice in EGTC. And that has really worked out well for us in terms of the discussions, in terms of the MIS reporting generated from these stakeholders, these process owners. So basically, it's a combination. It's coming together and working, and not just an audit per se. So that's where it makes the changes.